sukadam kevalam jnanamurtim dvandvatitam gagana sadrusham tattvamasyadilaksham ekam nityam vimalamachalam sarvadi sakshibhutam bhavatitam trigunarahitam satgurum tam namami. Nithyanandam, and welcome to a very special live satsang. The countdown to Sadashivoham is on. It's almost impossible to imagine for those of us who are here in Nithyananda Peetham, Bengaluru Adinam, especially the Nithyananda Yogam participants, many of whom are joining me on stage today to share our experiences. Because when we enter the energy field of Nithyananda Peetham, this whole Adinam is truly its own loka. It is a kshetra, it's a place of pilgrimage. And when we're here, we experience time in a whole different way. What's interesting, I was chatting about this with a few of the Nithyananda Yogam participants, and more people kept jumping in to join the conversation, saying the same thing exactly happened for them. It's that every single day feels expansive, feels like 3 days crammed into one. From the time we get up to the time we go to bed. When we're going to bed late night or early morning, we'll talk about something that happened and say, remember last week? And then somebody will say, that wasn't last week, that was this afternoon. Because so much fits into one day that each day is like a week in the outer world. And yet, despite this expansion of time during our day, when we think of how much time has passed since Navaratri, it feels like it was just yesterday that we all got here. So feeling like things are rushing forward and slowing down simultaneously, we know for sure Swamiji is taking us beyond time. And yet still, the clocks are ticking and the calendar pages are moving, and Sadashivoham is 8 days away. So since we've shared with you last on this stage, Swamiji has introduced one more beautiful spiritual alchemy product, the Soma Mandala. Many have had breakthroughs through this. The Soma Mandala is the left eye of Sadashiva. It's the dwelling place of Adi Shakti, where Adi Shakti herself resides. From the Soma Mandala, Adi Shakti, Ganesha originates. Ganesha, of course, is the remover of all obstacles. So when we hold the Soma Mandala in the left hand, as Swamiji led us all to do during the Living Shuddhadvaitam special program, Introduction to Sadashivoham, this past weekend, major breakthroughs are happening. Besides that, of course, the Jnananjana and the Garbha continue to give us awesome experiences, some of which you'll hear today. So without holding you back any longer, I'm too excited to let the Nithyananda Yogam participants start sharing. So first, I'd like to hand it over to Sahadeva.
Nithyanandam, everyone. My name is Sahadeva. I'm from Los Angeles. I'm a collegiate athlete. And just want to tell everyone I'm 24 years old. And before coming to Nithyananda Yogam, I really was kind of stuck in life, and I was trying to figure out where is it that I'm going to be, where is it that I'm going to go. And I got the invitation to go to Nithyananda Yogam, and I just jumped right on it. And so I'm going to share my experience in regards to expressing the powers. So I did a live demo this past weekend, and it was a major breakthrough for me. See, before, I really had trouble having that connection with Sadashiva. But once receiving the Garbha, I immediately started playing with the powers and connecting with Sadashiva, and finally understanding that whatever it is that Sadashiva wants to express through this body, it doesn't matter whether it's right or wrong, you simply let it express. And so once that click happened for me, I didn't have a vested interest on whether I was right or wrong. It was simply Sadashiva expressing through me. And the more that I was expressing, the more clear the power of remote viewing would happen. And so I guess my main message is, even for those who are young adults and they feel like, man, where am I going to do with my life? What is the purpose of my life? Where should I be going? I'm telling you, expressing powers is one of the highest peak possibilities. It is the highest peak possibilities, and you should definitely come to Sadashivoham and experience this because it's going to elevate your life. And Swamiji discussed how when you're in the waking state, you have 100 identities that you carry. And when you go to the awakened state, that becomes into 1,000 identities, which swallow up those 100 identities. So for me, I'm experiencing that very thing in which he's discussing. Whenever I start expressing powers, those 100 identities are being called into that awakened state, and I simply just, I radiate that bliss, and I completely forget this identity that I'm carrying into that ultimate identity. And so come experience this ultimate identity of Sadashivoham, and I'm inviting all of you to come to Sadashivoham. Thank you.
Nithyanandam. My name is Bhuvana. I'm from San Jose, California. I'm a participant in the Nithyananda Yogam October batch. I just wanted to share something that happened over the weekend, and it's been continuously happening. Over the weekend, I was asked to demonstrate remote scanning. And before that, you've been kind of just playing around with that, with that power. So consistently, I was able to scan whoever my partner was, or home, or childhood memory, childhood home, or something that was pretty much coming pretty accurate. I kind of felt confident, and I said, okay, I'm going to do the demo. And I did the demo and everything, I was able to, not me, Sadashiva, was able to express through me so accurately. And I felt more and more confidence that, oh, I'm really going to play with this power. And I started to do that intensely. What started to happen was, I started to feel extremely energetic, and I just didn't feel like sleeping. I haven't gone to bed in 4 days. I'm not kidding. I just don't feel like sleeping. If I have to if I feel tired, I just kind of lie, I'm in the causing team. I just kind of fall off to sleep on the table, maybe an hour or so, or sometime in the Rajya Sabha, maybe for an hour. But other than that, I have not gone and slept on my bed. It's been 4 days. So it's called the Kutakesha. This is something I've been trying to really conquer ever since I came here, but I just couldn't do it. More and more I tried, I was failing miserably. I would sleep like 8-9 hours. So it just started to happen, and the best thing is that I don't feel tired. And it's like what Sahadeva was explaining, exactly. I think I'm going into that state where I'm just so awake and alert, it's all because of some of the powers that have started to manifest through me. And Sadashiva has started to manifest those powers. And I just wanted to tell everyone there's nothing special about me. I'm just, just a normal human being who just loves Sri Paramahamsa Nithyananda Swami. So, everyone, just make sure you're here for Sadashivoham. You just won't know what you all are going to be doing. So that's all I wanted to share.
Nithyanandam, my name is Srinitya Balanetharananda. I'm from Long Beach, California, and I'm 28 years old. I say my journey started in September. I was also invited for the Nithyananda Yogam, but I decided to also join the causing team in September. Anyways, fast forwarding to when we got to Garba, we had a session in Swamiji's courtyard where we were manifesting different powers with the Balasants. And I remembered sitting with the Balasant, trying to do the third eye reading, and it was getting very frustrating. So I remember Swamiji said, you know, if this happens, just move on to the next powers. So what happened was we started doing the banyan tree leaf reading, and he started the Balasant started projecting different images, and for some reason I started seeing things, and I just couldn't believe my eyes. And it was like I was getting the answer correct, like left and right, and we were going for about maybe 10, 15 rounds, and then we decided to move on to the mirror. And this time with the mirror, it became even like way more clear. Like it was like actually seeing the image in your eyes. And I remember the first image that the Balasant projected was Swamiji smiling with his beard, and I just looked at the mirror like, am I really seeing that? And I just said, all right, okay, it's Swamiji. And the Balasant said, okay, what is he doing? I said, all right, he has his beard and he's smiling, and he's like, yes, correct. And I was like, whoa, this is crazy. And then the next one was like, he was showing Adi Shakti, Lord Ganesha in the front of the Adinam, then Lord Kalabhairava, and I don't know, it just, the power of manifestation was just so much fun with the Balasant. And next thing, we moved on to different powers, which was like remote viewing and the body scan. And a part of me didn't feel like I could do it, but then a part of me was like, you know, I'm just gonna try this. I'm just gonna say whatever comes to mind. Like Sahadeva said, just say whatever comes to mind. It was just a process of trust. And the way I could say translating that trust is being integrated to what Mahadeva or Sadashiva is showing you. So I just started blurting out whatever came to mind, and the answers were right. For example, I scanned one of the participants' bodies, and which I never really done, and it felt like I closed my eyes, and it felt like I had the Terminator vision. If you guys ever watched the Terminator, where like Arnold Schwarzenegger, he scans the body or his whole setting, and it's like a digital whatever, and I seen this like huge red mark in his heart, and basically I told him, all right, Swamiji, what are you trying to show me? And this thought popped up, and basically the thought was he drank too much alcohol with energy drink, and I told him that, and he said, yeah, you're right. I used to drink a lot of energy drink and with vodka, and it's like, then I told him the solution is just be here. It'll be like totally healed. The next up is I wanted to share about the Garba. It actually made the Garba has made causing so much more fun. I just go direct to the solution. For example, I think the first day we got this, we were playing around with this, and I was trying to call this person. He didn't pick up. So I just held my Garba. I was like, you know, I'm just gonna try this out. This is my first day. Might as well give this a try. And I said, all right, Garba, what should I do to make this guy pick up and be fully caused today? And the Garba was like, you need to get out your blanket and do 20 jumping jacks. So I got out of the blanket and I started doing 20 jumping jacks in front of everybody. And then I went back to my seat, and I called him, and I think like after 3 rings he picked up, and when he picked up I was shocked, like, oh my God, he actually picked up. And then the conversation was just like, you know, we were just talking, and I didn't really bring up Sadashivoham, and then he said, hey, I'm coming to Sadashivoham, I'm gonna book my plane ticket, and yeah, I'm gonna make the deposit. And then I was like, wow, this thing really makes causing easy. So then I got really curious. So I wanted to give it a try for one of my businesses, I'm an affiliate marketer. I do a lot of marketing. So there's this company that I've been trying to get increased commissions for like the past 2 years, but he's never budged. So I just asked the Garba, hey, what should I do to make this guy increase my commissions by the end of this week? And the answer I got was, you need to be direct with them and ask him for the raise, which I did before. I was like, all right, whatever, let's try this again. So I asked him, and he said, 8% is the best I can do. And then I was like, oh, okay, what should I do now, Garba? And then the Garba was like, okay, you need to go find another company, tell them that the company is giving you a better offer, show them all the pictures, and give them the link. So I sent them the link, and the Garba told me exactly what to write. It said, look, this company is giving me a better offer. You either give me a better offer, the same offer, or I'm ready to move. So he took a look at the site, and he's trying to say, but the other company is charging much more. And I told him, look, comparatively speaking, buying this product in store versus online, it's much cheaper. And it's not about the price. It's more like based on the commission. Either you can offer the same or better, or I'm ready to move. What are you going to do? So the next email he sent me, he said, all right, I'll agree. I'll give you what you're asking for. So I guess the difference for me was like, you literally don't have to think. You just have to ask the right question, and the Garba will just guide you. So that's all I wanted to share. If you're coming to Sadashivoham, you'll experience a lot of powers which will just raise your identity, your confidence, and it'll make life much more easier. Like, why do you have to think, use your mind, when you could just use the Garba, and who knows what Swamiji is going to release. He's releasing 18 more spiritual tools. So I'd hate to imagine the people who's going to miss it, but what to do. So if you're coming, come. Thank you.
Nithyanandam. My name is Ma Nithya Shakti Rupananda. I'm from Houston, Texas. And today, actually, I want to share something. Actually, I've attended multiple inner awakenings before this, and I've attended Kumbh Mela. And I've gotten the third eye initiation from Swamiji. And every time I get the initiation from Swamiji, I experience so much of bliss and completion. But when I do the third eye practice, for example, when I put the blindfold on, I'll start falling asleep, I'll start being irritated, I'll experience all these things. And because of that, I'll never be able to, sometimes I'll be able to read, and sometimes I'll not be able to read. But something very unique happened to me the moment I came here for Nithyananda Yogam. Swamiji, he gave the Jnananjana initiation. And right after that, I did my first, I did a few manifesting powers practices. And it was so weird because I remember I would just close my eyes, and just when I'm closing my eyes, I'll just describe the picture, for example. And I'll open my eyes, and in 30 seconds, all of it is right. And I'm wondering, wait, it's all right? And not just that, we had multiple manifesting powers exercises, and another one we did was with the banyan tree leaf, where basically what happens is the Balasant, the Gurukul kid, they project an image, and I'm supposed to tell what that image is. So, basically I'm supposed to see the image in the banyan tree leaf. And what I did first was I was looking at the banyan leaf, and I was looking and looking and looking, and I didn't see anything. And I was thinking, man, I'm not seeing anything. But I'm getting some thoughts, but I'm not seeing anything. And the Balasan just looked at me and was like, you already know the answer, why aren't you telling it? And I was like, okay. So actually the Balasant, she projected an ice cream with 3 flavors. So Ma Bhuvana, who she's next to me, she was telling me, okay, there's vanilla and mango. And I had coffee in my head, so I was like, okay, there's no way coffee can go with vanilla and mango. So I was just not telling anything. And she was like, you're too logical. Why don't you just tell what you the answer? And I said coffee. And she was like, yes. And I was like, okay, that's so cool. And then again, she told me something else. And, of course, Mabuvana said something. And I had something in my head. And she was like, okay, why aren't you just telling it? And I just said it. And it was right. And I was like, okay, this is weird. So again and again, I just kept getting it right. And the next thing, right after that, before we went for lunch, my friend, Krishna, he had a slab, and he projected an image on it. So he was like, hey, tell me what I have on it. So I was like, okay. So I looked at it, and I said, hey, okay, I see a note. There's a notebook on it. And he was like, yes. And I said, okay, it's on a table. And he was like, yes. And there's a pen, and it's blue ink, and it's a red pen. And he was like, yes. And there's a cup, and he was like, yes. And there's a black chair, and he was like, yes. And I was like, wow. So it's like, it just, for me, I'm not seeing it, but everything, I just get it, and I just say it. And it's not like 1 or 2 times I get it wrong and I get it right the third time. It's like all of it is right. And just yesterday, actually, I did one thing with Ma Aparna. I actually went to Houston for a few days. And these guys over here last week, they had a manifesting power session for scanning houses, right? So I missed that session. So I was thinking, okay, I missed it. And Ma Aparna was like, well, you already got the initiation before from Swamiji, so just tell me what house I'm visualizing. I was like, okay. So I just blurted out what I had, right? For about 2 minutes straight, whatever came to my mind, I just said everything. And then I was like, okay, I have no idea what I'm saying, so can you just tell me whether it's right or wrong, or whether what it is? And she told me everything you said was right. And I was like, wow. So, I mean, I had gone into a lot of details. I said what was on the first floor, I said what was on the second floor of the house, and I said the color of the house, what was inside the second floor of the house. And it was my first time doing it, and everything was right. So I guess what I'm here to share is that from the alchemy products, what I am experiencing with the Jnananjana, wearing the Jnananjana, I'm experiencing so much of completion where there's no mental ups and downs when I'm doing the third eye reading. When throughout the day, I'm experiencing so much completion that literally I feel like Sadashiva. So what I like to say is, come to Sadashivoham 2016 to experience the space of Sadashiva. Thank you.
Nithyananda, my name is Rajendra Banial. I am from the Netherlands. And while my colleagues were talking about the experiences, what they had, powers they're experiencing through Nyanjana and Garba, I was thinking, what should I tell now? My story is not very long. I learned about Swamiji this year in January, and I was in February for the IA. And I was very skeptic when I came here. I thought, yeah, let's see, I paid for it. But the shift happened during Mandala meditation here. And from that time onwards, I mean, I've been in Kumbh Mela. There was this 70 powers which we got initiated into. And from that time onwards, I felt I started expressing powers right after these initiations, actually. But there's always a gap. I didn't knew why. Sometimes I'm so easily able to express powers, and sometimes it doesn't happen at all. And where is the gap between? I got the three Netra Tilak in the Kumbh Mela, which was also a big surprise. But well, still it wasn't really what I could hold on to. But when I got invited for Nithyananda Yogam program, and which was really a surprise, because when the older batch guys were talking here, I was thinking I shouldn't get this email, or if I get, I mean, I shouldn't. And I was this kind of a confusion question answering going in my mind. And in the next morning, I see an email from Nithyananda Swami, and I keep it open. I don't want to read it because I really feel this is the email, what kind of invitation. Well, I read in the evening, and it was an invitation, and so I came here. So what happened actually when I'm here, a lot of things change. Experience really emerged out of me, and also this connectivity to Swamiji. And when we started getting alchemic products like Nyanjana, Garba, and then we got lately Suma Mandala. We have talked about Nyanjana, the power, and the Garba that you can manifest through your talking to it. But I want to talk about one very important thing, actually. I could say that Garba was like starting up my engine with me. And when I got Soma Mandala, it just kicked off. I can say it is like I can just, if I'm able to tell it, it's like if you walk every day and one day you get drunk, how you see the reality when you're drunk is totally different when you're not drunk. So this shift is like I see the light, everything is changed. It's like, when I was today at Rudrabhishekam, I could literally feel the Shivalinga, actually. And it's as if the communication, the circuit wire, what Swamiji says, he's going to rewire, so the circuit's going to function. It's really working. And I see now much clearer, actually, why the powers which were given to me by Swamiji, initiations were not working all the time. And the more I realize it, I find all these powers are just my extensions, actually. And I'm much more than that. One incident I want to tell you that I was sitting at the Shivlanga in the Rudrabhishekam, and I was just, had my hand in the front, and I was just waiting that it's going to start soon. And I was looking at the big Shivlinga, and I started feeling heat actually in my hand here. And I thought, I just took it away and said maybe something. I mean, my mind started working. Then I put it back again, and it again felt heat again. Then I thought, then I looked around. I said, it's not even sunny. I mean, I understand that black things radiate heat, but why? And then I started scanning this whole Shivalinga actually. And the heat was just coming from the middle of it. And I tried a lot, I mean, up and down, and that was one of the experiences I had. And it actually manifested the truth about this puja we do much more in my being. So now, whenever before deities, it's just literally you can experience, feel them right there. So that has actually, and I'm quite, I can tell you, Swamiji was telling that they're going to be version 2. I can tell you if it's going to be version 2, then I will be flying around. That was basically my experience. Thank you very much.
Nithyanandam, my name is Ma Dwaita Varjitananda. I'm coming from KL Adinam. So anyways, I actually met Swamiji about 3 months ago on YouTube through Swarupa Priya. And also, when I came here for my first inner awakening on September, I was so blown away because literally Swamiji is everything I actually more than what I actually imagined. I'm those type of kids that sits at home and look up in the sky and be like, why did you put me down here? Why am I down here for? I don't feel like I'm myself. I feel weird. Why is this happening to me? Take me back home. So if you are one of those kids that's actually sitting down in your room and looking up in the sky, this avatar, Paramahamsa Nithyananda, Swamiji, he's the one who's calling you. So if I've experienced something so beyond my imagination when it came to manifesting powers, literally within the first week of my September, I manifested powers and I could read through the banyan leaf. It was so amazing. It's worthless. Don't bother. Just come here and experience it. And moving on, after September I actually, during one of the darshan during September everyone was talking about Nithyananda Yogam, and I was like, what is this Nithyananda Yogam all about? I want to join. If it's with Swamiji for 3 months, sure, why not? Sign me up. So I actually went up and I was like, Swamiji, please, can I please join Nithyananda Yogam? And I was like, oh my God, he's going to say no. Oh my God, he's going to say yes. It was so, just for that 1 second for him to be like, yes, you can join. Or it felt like 1 year. So fast forward, I came to Nithyananda Yogam and I'm here. And I have a different experience to share with you because during Nithyananda Yogam, I was a causer just for a few weeks. And I managed to cause myself literally fully cause myself before even going into another department. When I was sitting down in Swamiji's courtyard and one of the balasans were there, they were doing something and we were all getting coffee, and you know, over here, when we get coffee, we go crazy. We're like, oh, coffee, haha, and we'll start drinking it. So we were passing some to the balasans, and the balasans didn't really want to drink it, and we were like, okay, and they were like, oh, they didn't do puja. And it just slapped me in the face because I was like, and over here, I'm greedy trying to get coffee. Doesn't matter if I did puja, doesn't matter if I did puja, but that thought wasn't there. So I was like, whoa, that's amazing. So I picked up the mic for the first time and I was like, Swamiji, can I please experience Gurukul for a day or something, or change my age and put me in Gurukul? And within a few days, I got transferred to Gurukul, and on that day, that was the day that I fully caused myself. So it was like so meant to be. And now I'm in Gurukul department, so instead of doing causing, I'm actually in Gurukul. And every single day with them is so amazing, and I get the biggest click in the world being with them. My patterns doesn't last at all there. It probably comes up for 1 second or probably a few minutes, and it just goes away because they are lion cubs. I'm over there going like, meh, and they'll just come at me and the pattern will just disappear. It's such a healing place to be over there. And also, I had the biggest click in the morning today during yoga. I wanted to manifest powers, and one of the other manifestation is just reading. The kids that I'm with every single day, they literally just blindfold and walk with the blindfold, and I'm like, what? No, he's kidding. There's a hole somewhere. And he's literally just going around. I'm just like, are you kidding me? And over here, I'm trying to read a letter, A, B, C. And so I got a little frustrated. So during yoga today, I was like, what type of inner space are they carrying? I don't get it. Yeah, inner space. I'm doing it. And one of the balasans was like, it's not about your action. It's about your inner space. You have to be childlike. And I was like, I'm a child. And she's like, no, that's still action. And I was like, okay, fine. Tell me, what is inner space then? She said it so simply. She was like, inner space means when you're silent, that doesn't mean powerlessness. It means powerfulness. So I was like, whoa, it hit me so hard because usually whenever people tell you, hey, keep quiet, you'll go into silent mode. It's powerlessness. When you want to say something but you don't want to say something, you keep quiet. That's powerlessness. That's why it's hard for us to manifest, because half of the time when we're silent, we're actually going into powerlessness. So it was such a huge click for me in the morning that I was like, that's what these kids are carrying all the time, even when they're just staring and like looking at the sky. Whoa, no wonder they're manifesting much, much more than what we can as an adult. And I'm just saying, when you're coming here, all the preparation that Swamiji has given you, all the alchemy products like the Garba and the Jnananjana, yes, do all of that. But at the same time, remember, be a child. You're the daughters and sons of the cosmos. That's what cosmos came down here. That's what Swamiji came down here. That's why the inner image that you're always seeing, everyone's projecting. Everyone be like, oh, she's my completion. Yeah, okay, she's a pattern of mine. What can she tell me? You sometimes forget. Look around. Look at the balasans. They're kids. And they're the one that's the most highest peak potential of you. That's the one that you need to come out with. The kid in you. So I welcome all of you to come join Sadashivoham. Come, be a kid, play. And also, enjoy yourself and bring yourself to the highest peak possibility ever. Thank you, Nithyanandam.
Nithyanandam. Are you ready for the Sadashivoham 2016? Did you hear the Sankalpa Swamiji said? He is going to have 100,000 Gurukul kids, and he is going to expand this Gurukul at such a magnanimous level. And all these Gurukul Bal Sant, how they are going to revive the Sanatan Vedic Hindu Dharma. All that is just happening, and this Sadashivoham is the starting of the new beginning of Sanatan Vedic Hindu Dharma. Sanatan Vedic Hindu Dharma ki jai. I wanted to share some of the manifestation of powers and all that. But what I do versus what the Gurukul Balasants do is like, I'm 1% and they are 1000%. So you can see the amount of possibilities which are there. So bring your kids for this amazing event. Don't worry about 21 days of the school and all that, but or college. You will be able to just make that up on first day after you go back. I'm in causing team, and I'm seeing so many miracles, including my own miracle. I thought in my Chase bank I had about $10,000, and I wasn't sure how I would be causing 12, whatever. But as soon as Ma Anu, she said, oh, it'll be easier for you to cause and all that. I had $50,000 in my bank account, and I immediately caused me, my wife, and my kid. So things like that, Swamiji is going to get them here. So things like that, Swamiji, the way he is reviving the Sanatan Vedic Hindu Dharma, you are seeing all around that how to redesign how to bring that ancient Hindu temple technology back, and how he is going to do the Pran Pratisthapana. So many amazing things are going to, when you come to the Sadashivoham, you're going to experience all these things. And the presence of Master, as I'll tell you another simple thing. We had about, during the manifestation of power, the way Swamiji was radiating, and how simple our Master is. Like, we live and breathe in this Anandpuri and Anandpuri extension. And our Master, so simple, and he gives us the lessons of life, how being simple can be, when you are simple, how you radiate powers and all that. For all the, when you are in the Nithyananda Yogam, you are with the Master, you are like the Nandi and the image, the outside image versus the real inner image, like you see here in Nithyananda Yogam. It's so amazing to see the Master, and we breathe his prana, the tremendous amount of transformation which is happening in me. It is very hard to share that in few minutes. There's so much to share, but last time I was telling you about the lion and cub story. I asked the Akashic records, how come I'm so lucky and all things are happening so nicely? He said, I was connected with Master in last Janma. So here we have this Akashic reading, which literally tells what the current state is. And here the Master, there's a beautiful Sanskrit shloka, Guru Brahma, Hindi shlok, Guru Brahma Rupa Jano, Shiv ka Swarupa Jano, Guru ke saman nahi dusra jahan mein. Like, Guru is like in form of Brahma, and he is the Shiv ka Swarup, like when the compassion and all that. So here, even whatever the Akashik says, you know, our Guru, you just say, please do it, and he just makes it happen for you. So we are so blessed. And in the causing team, I'm seeing, like when Swamiji said, hey, the door is closed, but it is not locked. And I see that so many examples where if you just hold the space, just keep the right space, and you know, miracles are bound to happen. Just hold that space and keep trying, and you will see how the Garba, if you have the Garba, how it will do the work. Just yesterday I was talking to my son, and he was giving US history AP exam, and he said, oh, you know, I myself was never good with history and facts and all that, but see Swamiji's Sankalpa, he's going to make this Macaulay's system completely redundant. And you can see that here. The other day, it took me about 5 minutes to download that complete Adi Shankara's, complete works of Shankara. Like all the Upanishads and all the things, all the commentaries which he has written in Sanskrit, to download them. But Swamiji brought these 9 volumes, 9 books, and he kept them. And Sundareshwara and Nandita, they both were sitting right there, and Swamiji did, and he said, now I'm downloading. I was just, my mind wasn't working. Then I went on computer and I tried to download. It took 5 minutes to download all these books in PDF format. And Swamiji here, he said he's doing the microchip and that's it. So I'm going to pray all the Sadashivoham participants to tell Swamiji, please give Sanskrit, Tamil, and but we just need, you guys to, I just need your support to, get that. And we just need to create our hardware, So Swamiji is telling us, upgrade our hardware. And he's giving us simple tips, so many tips, so compassionate master we have. It will take hours and hours to, share all this stuff with you. But as Swamiji told last satsang, like few words, back up, come to Sadashivoham. Just do that. That will be the best thing you do for yourself and your entire family. And if you are in your surrounding, if you can cause anyone, just cause them and get them here. And you will see that bliss radiating in your surrounding forever and ever and ever. Thank you. Please, 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 come to Sadashivoham and let's enjoy. And let's see this amazing instance in the whole Sanatan Vedic Hindu Dharma, and see how the shock waves go all across the world. Nithyananda.
Nithyananda, my name is Ma Sarita, and Swamiji gave me spiritual name, Ma Ananda Victoria, and I'm Seattle Annadata. I came for Nithyananda Yogam program for 3 months for the Navratri team, and I'm learning so many Bhagasastra cooking here with Ma Prakashika and my team, my kitchen team. Thank you, kitchen team. And also my one big pattern broke was waking up in the morning for yoga. I could never wake up. If Charana is listening, he'll be very happy about this, because he would wake me up, but I would say, no, I'm not waking up for yoga. But then now I wake up every day and come for yoga, and I have arthritis pain, knee arthritis pain, and I just stand in the kitchen for like 5 hours straight and not complain about my knee pain anymore. And with Swamiji's blessings, we can do anything. Please please come for Sadashivoham and enjoy the 40 items in the menu which Swamiji is giving all of us. And don't miss this chance. Please don't miss this chance. Just come. Just pack your stuff and fly and be here in Bidadi. Thank you. Nithyanandam.
Nithyanandam. My name is Tripura. I'm from St. Louis, USA. So today, I want to try to introduce the best and the main thing at Sadashivoham. Guess what? Swamiji himself. So one thing, like before coming and sharing on the stage that really hit me and I wanted to share was that when I attended IAs before, when I did Shivoham, July 2014 IA, Nithyanandoham, and now I'm in Nithyananda Yogam, I thought that I understood Swamiji. I thought that, oh, he's the person who sits at satsangs, gives us so much deeper understandings about things, and just gives blessings and hugs and like gives us whatever we want. But there's so much behind that. There's so much of context behind that, which I got a glimpse of in this Nithyananda Yogam. Literally every second with Swamiji is so precious. We just sit in, like recently we had a Vakyartha Sadas on decision fatigue. We would just sit in the courtyard and Swamiji will be just casually on his iPad, chatting with his devotees and doing work and always calling his Chitti, like saying, Chitti, get me water, get me the charger, get me this, get me that, like a small kid. And we'll be just sitting there doing debate and Vakyartha Sadas and all of that. And we'll be thinking, why is Swamiji even, like, what is he even doing as a part of this Vakyartha Sadas? But there's so much he's actually doing while we are debating. And in the middle, like, even without our knowledge, he just takes the mic and interferes in the middle. And it's kind of like how Swamiji talked about Arunagiri Yogeshwara in one of the IA sessions. He said that Arunagiri Yogeshwara was so casual. It was like it was between two cognitions for Swamiji, whether is he really God or not. So it's literally like that experience for me. And also, I would like to share an experience like in the middle of Vakyartha Sadas, what happened. Suddenly, like, he's on his iPad casually just doing his work and we're all doing our Vakyartha Sadas. And suddenly he just turns to me and he's like, Tripura, you still have those glasses on. And I used to have like this big glasses on. And he just turns to me and says, you still have those glasses on? And I couldn't answer anything. And I was just like smiling at him awkwardly. And then he says, come here. And then that's the moment that I felt like, wow, I'm called by Swamiji. And every step towards him was like, wow, 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 wow. So it was like, every single step towards him was like, I'm going to be near Swamiji. Oh my God. And then I sat right next to him, literally like he was right here. And I was right here. And I'm just like looking at him like, I don't know what to do. And then he looks at me and he calls Chitti and he's like, Chitti, get Jnananjana. I want to energize for her and let her wear it on her eyes and her third eye and she'll be healed completely. Then in the middle of his work on the iPad, he just like takes the Jnananjana very casually. It's not like some big intense process where he holds the Trishul and puts it and all of that. He just took the Jnananjana and just looked at it through his third eye. And I could literally see like the energy flowing to that. And then he gave it to me and said, apply on all the three eyes and give the pot back. Don't take the pot. So then immediately after I applied, it was like, at first it was really blurry. I couldn't see anything. And then after that, everything was like crystal clear. I could even read what was far. And now I don't have glasses anymore. Just the Jnananjana every day. So these small casual moments are the things that we will hold in our inner space forever. Like even now I can literally remember when I was walking towards him with the awkward smile. And yeah, so there's so much more to tell. But I would just like to say, come to Sadashivoham to experience who he actually is. There's so much more behind the satsangs and the darshans and the small weekend programs. There's so much more behind all of that. And Sadashivoham, you will get a glimpse of that space. Thank you.
So, as it happens every time, no matter how many people share, there's always more left unsaid, and I can see the progress in everyone here at Nithyananda Yogam. By the number of people jumping to the stage to share, we start with maybe 3 men and 3 women, then 4 and 4, then 5 and 5. Today we had 7 and 7 and more backstage who wanted to come on stage. And even now, as the time has come to an end for this particular sharing session, we have some who are going to be carried forward to share next time. What's so beautiful about this is that Swamiji is breaking every pattern, including that pattern of stage fright, that pattern of fear and resistance. And it's a wonderful thing to see. If you've ever gone through any kind of powerlessness at all, any kind of insecurity, any kind of fear, this upcoming Sadashivoham 2016 is absolutely for you. It's not that we're going to immediately pull you onto the stage to share, but by nature of the fact that Swamiji will be giving you so many amazing energy darshans, energizing you, initiating you, then giving you the spiritual alchemy products to seal in that energy so that you live with it, and as Akshayaguna said, literally become a god. You'll experience that Sohamasmi state to such a high degree that truly it won't be a matter of looking at the deity on the pedestal and feeling lower and deciding to raise. Swamiji will himself just raise you. Don't miss this powerful opportunity for Sadashivoham 2016. There's still plenty of time, and 8 days is much longer than any of us can imagine, especially if you experience time the way we experience it here at Bengaluru Adinam. So if you want to be here with us in December, please don't hesitate to get in touch with any one of us who you see on stage now through Facebook, or get in touch with your local Mahant, get in touch with any Kotari, any Tanedar. There's a causing team directly initiated by Swamiji standing by with the Garba. So the point I want to really emphasize as we wrap up today is that it's the Garba giving us exactly what needs to be said, exactly when it needs to be said. One thing that I think everyone should know about the way causing has had a breakthrough is that it used to be that the causers would know exactly, point by point, Swamiji's beautiful teachings. We are all very well versed in what Swamiji has revealed for us because we all tune in daily to satsang, which you should also definitely do. We're all well versed in Swamiji's instructions because we've been trained by him. But one thing Kala Bhairava actually revealed to me when I went for a reading from a Balasant, I asked, what can we do to cause the reality of everyone who wants to be here in December? And Kala Bhairava revealed, those who are causing shouldn't speak as themselves. They should know Swamiji is speaking through them. And I asked, how can that be done practically? What to do to make that happen? And Kala Bhairava revealed through the Balasant, giving the Akashic reading, they need to experience me speaking through them and see the result of that. I can say by the sharings we've heard from those on the causing team, that is literally happening now, and it is so exciting. Now, one experience I want to share from my own Garba. One of my YouTube viewers had written to me on Facebook saying that he wants to come to Sadashivoham 2016, but he's not able to really feel the powerfulness in his inner space to get the breakthrough. I held the Garba and asked, what's one thing he can do now to get that click? I immediately had a vision of a closet with a shoebox, and that shoebox was like an athletic design shoe with a red logo. I had no idea what this would have to do with causing his reality. I kind of pulled the vision out a little bit and saw that it's like a typical teenager's bedroom. When I described that to him, he said that he does have a bedroom in his mother's house from when he was a teenager, but that he's never kept any shoe boxes. The Garba was still insistent, so I told him, please, if you have the chance, go check that closet. About an hour later, in that same conversation thread, he posted a photo of a shoebox, athletic design shoebox with a red logo right there in his closet from when he was a teenager in his mom's house. That's when the Garba revealed the next message for him, that because he's holding on to this box, he's also holding on to the powerless space that he carried at the time that he wore those shoes, that he had to ceremoniously get rid of that box in order to get the breakthrough. So when we hear someone like Balanetra say the Garba is telling him to do 20 jumping jacks, and then the person is going to answer the phone. When we hear someone say anything, the Garba has given this particular instruction, it might seem at first like it doesn't make sense, but when we just naturally do, it all comes to such a beautiful fruition. It's all really happening. So even if you had someone cause your reality or try to cause your reality, if you had a call from a causer maybe a month ago or 3 weeks ago, and you feel like nothing has changed, get another causing call now, because now it's happening through the power of Sadashiva himself and Adi Shakti, of course, Swamiji, through the Garba. Don't miss out on this beautiful opportunity, and I look forward to seeing you at Sadashivoham 2016. Nithyanandam. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudashyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat Sarvam Satguru Padukarpanamastu. Om Nithyananda